Well, hello everyone. We are back again to the great world of YouTube. I'm Celtic to Nephew, and my mic is way over here. Oh, that's great. Now you can probably hear me. I'm Celtic to Nephew. You can call me Celtic. You can call me D. My pronouns are she, her. And today I will be streaming my homebrew prep. My homebrew prep. That's great. It is I have a high seas campaign that is an amalgamation of things. I started off as a base using some of the adventures from the Crucible magazine, not to be confused with the Crucible game being done by Foundry. Yeah, so just making sure everything is good. All right, so we're going to start off with our session notes template. I grabbed this from the Lazy DM. It is fantastic information. Great guide. Dreams, how you doing, darling? Welcome. I remembered to adjust my chat window so that I can actually see you. Yeah, so starting off with my prep, I've got my characters here. I still need to finish filling this in. That's one of those things I always put off. So the strong start. So when we left our heroes, they were separated. Last session was really fun. We one of the players, a monk, got separated from the crew, and he was captured and taken prisoner. And when he got to the prisoner camp, the group that I had planned the party to find in the wow, I'm all flustered today. Don't mind me. It's been a long work day. But the group that I planned to have already broken out, and for the players to run into to kind of give them some information. Instead, what happened was Drac showed up just in time for them to involve him in their escape. We did some lore drops because that group is actually a bunch of NPCs, including the player who plays Drac. His first character was one of those people, so everybody got really excited to see the OG PC. The player went right into his old character's voice, which was a lot of fun. And everybody just really, really loved it. So we had that moment. Then they all broke out, and there was some argument about who would protect the old PC, who is actually an old man who has a disease that has been with him that my player decided what he wanted for his character. So I have integrated it into the world. And so, yeah, so there was a little bit of conversation where one of the NPCs basically entrusted the old player character, his name is Professor Albrecht, with the new player character, whose name is Drac. And the other NPC, Kajim, basically did badass shit to distract the guards, become the biggest threat in the area, so that the PC and some of the NPCs could get away. This was a fun moment for me because Kajim is based off of an old PC I had, who was a wild magic barbarian. She's a fire genasi. She's from the fire plane, so like in my world, the fire plane has kind of come through in different places and created a lot of genasi to live in one area. And and this island that they are on is like a fantasy version of Iceland. So rocky, craggy, not a lot of places to hide. Like not trees, no jungles. It's like, you're hiding behind rocks. But it was a lot of fun because if you haven't been here before, there's this whole subplot of a star that has fallen onto this island that all these pirates are trying to find. They've basically captured and bribed people to work for them to find the star. But the star is kind of like digging through the island and into the fire plane, because this island was originally created from the fire plane, but the veil is usually much thicker at this point in the cosmos. So this star is actually diving through, and creating this problem. So that's actually allowing her to be even more powerful. Would I normally have an NPC be more powerful than the party? Hell no. No, definitely not. Like, she would have just been a barbarian who could hit things with an axe if the player had chosen to take on that role, to do the distracting. And if he had chosen to fight things instead of run and protect the professor. Like, I gave him a choice in character where she was like, well, you must protect him. No, I don't know if I can trust you. And it basically gave the player the chance to decide what he wanted to do. He's a monk. If he wanted to choose to be badass, he could choose to be badass. They're only 4th level, but monks are awesome. I love monks. I don't care what anybody says. So, anyway, all that is to say, the scene that I painted as he was helping the professor, as Drac was helping the professor run away with all the other captives, was her just being like how I picture her, how I played her whenever she would get into fights, because she was a gladiator. And that was just really fun. It was fun to step back in those shoes, and I could let her be powerful because the whole point is that she's going to distract them. But she's not going to win. She's not going to get out. Not without the players actually doing something to save her. So it was an epic close to the session. Drac was running back to the group, and the group doesn't know what's happening, but they're on their way. They're trying to find it. They got to find some cool stuff on their own, have some fun conversations. The druid rolled a nat 20 insight on the pirate NPC, and so I got to secretly text them information, give them some whispers, and it actually kind of changed their character's response and respect for this NPC. Now, the NPC is Captain Evelyn Stormwind. The players have dealt with her before. She was part of the first adventure they went on, their level 2 adventure. At the end of the day, she only cares about herself and her crew, her loyal crew. But it's kind of the vibe of she cares about herself and her ship and her crew, because without her crew, her loyal crew, she has no ship. She can't sail the seas. So it's not that she's necessarily the nicest person, but once you get into her trusted shadow, she will make sure that you get out. So they're not there yet. And one of the other PCs, Lapidum, he is their captain of their ship, because this is a high seas campaign, so everybody's got a ship. But he doesn't trust her at all and is ready to kill her. So it's going to start giving that really juicy inter-character drama, which all my players really, really love. Like, they truly, honestly, and I've said this before, and I will probably say it every time, they would do so much better with a more narrative game. But until they're ready to jump into that, we have D&D. So our strong start is going to be reuniting. Bringing the characters back together. I also have this amazing map in my pocket for when they actually I'm gonna pull it up. It's gonna take a minute for Foundry to load, but I have this great map that shows like buildings with a giant fire hole in the center, and I really want to use it. I want to have there to be like some sort of earthquake, rumble in the ground, whatever. Maybe Kajim will fall through. Maybe this will be her last stand here. I haven't 100% decided yet. So if you have ideas, please pipe in one of those ideas, because it is a gorgeous map, and I just, oops, go away, MiniQOL. I just love it, and I do have some like creatures around it, because last time when I was prepping, it was like, oh, this is a gateway to the fire plane. So if it actually opens up, all these creatures are going to come out. But we don't have to deal with that. We can have all kinds of things happen. It's a lot of fun. I like having lots of ideas, lots of plans, and then just improving in the moment. So I'm ready for anything is the vibe that I try to go for when I DM. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't, but we'll see. So list of scenes, we're gonna have the reunion scene. We're gonna have maybe we will have the Kajim fight scene, but only if Drek turns around, basically, you know. If he turns around and he says, I want to see what happens, then I will give him something cool. I need to stop saying so much. But it's we'll have her fighting off people, and as the farther away he goes, the less she's able to hold her own. You know, she's a barbarian. She can take a lot of damage. So, and I think I might have I was looking at her character sheet. I don't remember if I pulled it into Foundry or not, but we'll look at that. I think she's under crew. Kajim. No, looks like it's just a regular what do you call it? NPC. But I should give her a higher AC just in case anything comes up. Because she's not level 2 anymore. So we've got that going on. And we've got Captain Evelyn. We did give her some stats last time. Or a couple of streams ago. Because, again, one of the characters kind of wants to kill her. Another one of the characters wants to join her ship. So it's it's all easy. It's all easy peasy. Laverne has some stats. We're gonna make her, she's not as strong as everyone else, but we'll keep her alive. Laverne is another one of their crew. She has stats because they wanted a fight club, and she was one of the fighters. So I really just gave her some cool shit. She's supposed to be like a brawler. Fist. Hardened skin. She is part Earth Genasi. So I just, in my world, everybody is supposed to be multicultural and a mix. So I gave her hardened skin because she too grew up in the northern part of the continent where kind of the earth plane and the fire plane have both had influence on the continent. And so she's part Earth Genasi, but my version of Earth Genasi, where she has hardened skin. She also has really thick hair, and it comes down, and she usually keeps it like wrapped up around. But she can like basically, rip her head back and forth, rip her hair back and forth, and it becomes like a whip, and it will trip. So we should probably give her a weapon. Just to because I'm sure, like, we didn't talk about it, but the players would be like, "What do you mean she doesn't have a sword?" So we'll have to add that, and then we're gonna have to build Mzori. Mzori is another NPC. I built them. Sorry, I built them because they wanted a crew, and so I gave them information to be a good crew member, not an actual NPC stat sheet. Because generally speaking, my players don't bring the NPCs to the islands and fight with them. But in the story, one of the characters, is bringing, like, insisted that Captain Evelyn, Mzori, and Laverne all go with her on the same boat, same rowboat, to make sure that, well, it's kind of up in the air, but basically, if Evelyn betrays the party, she's hoping that Laverne and Mzori will help her take Evelyn down. Kind of like, I'm going to keep an eye on Evelyn. But also, I've been pushing really well on Evelyn's charisma and ability to convince at least some of the players, PCs, that being a pirate is great. It's all about freedom. And like in my world, there's a super lawful country, which is where the player characters are from, or not from, but like they work for the university there, and it's very boring. It's everybody contributes towards the greater good. They don't go too far out into the ocean because it's actually started by sea folk, and they ran away from the water plane. So the ocean has big bad things like krakens and stuff. So they basically are just homebodies, and they're supposed to be lawful boring. When the player characters went back to the university and had to tell the university that they lost their ship, they had to spend like hours filling out paperwork in triplicate. So the whole point is, hey, y'all, don't spend a lot of time here. This is not where the adventure is. The adventure is out to sea. So, do 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 do. So now that we're putting Laverne in a fight, we need the hair whip. See, I wrote all this down in my notes, but they hired her a very long time ago. We're talking like July? No, March. They met these folks in March. So yeah, it's been a long time, and I don't remember, and I wasn't meaning to have them do anything. So let's do the hair whip. I know was like a strength check to get knocked prone. Let's base it off her dex because we want her to be usable. And let's see, feature type. Well, we'll say it's a feat. Why not? And it's one action. Target, I'm going to say 10 feet because that's cool. Range, feet. 10. Duration. Limited uses. I mean, it's her action, right? Well, so the whole point was she would trip you up, and if she tripped you, she'd be able to punch you while you're down, which of course would be an advantage. So should we keep that, or should we make this a bonus action? She can do it more than once. I think it'd be cool if she's surrounded by people, it would do damage, and then like whip around. Maybe a dex save from everybody, but that's a lot of dice. But I also don't want to roll a bunch of dice as well. She also wouldn't be able to control it that well. It's hair. So if she's whipping around and there's a PC there, they're also going to have to... We'll make it a dex save. All right, let's just do this in the description. Okay. If surrounded, she can whip her hair around and hit everyone within 5 feet. You want 5 feet or 10 feet? We'll do 5 feet. 5 feet is still a lot. 10 feet is even more. They must make a dex save or take... Now, here's the thing. Do we want it to be bludgeoning damage? She's like, put some kind of weight or something in her hair, because they would need to be weighed down for it to actually do something. Or does she want to braid a blade and do slashing damage? That seems very scary and crazy to me. Maybe it'll just be distracting. I don't know, Dreams, are you what do you think? Or are you prepping your game too? I think... I don't know, we'll think about it, but they must take a dex save or take... We'll do 1d4 bludgeoning damage. And we'll say the dex save is 12 too low? I mean, it's only hair. So then we'll say 13, because I want it to be a little bit more. But I think 15's too high. Alright, so... Okay, so if surrounded, she can whip her hair around and hit everyone within 5 feet. They must make a dex save 13 or take 1d4 bludgeoning damage. And... Or... She can trip one person and knock them prone. DC, we'll do the same DC 13. Strength? Or dex? You usually get knocked prone as a strength thing, but she is tripping them up. Is there a trip attack in D&D? I bet there is. Let's see if I can find a trip attack to base this on. D&D Beyond. Let's see. Way of the open hand. Oh. There's a way to trip with the way of the open hand, right? That's what it just said. Okay. Okay, so with the way of the open hand, it is a dexterity saving throw. So we'll say it's still dex. All right, so same thing. Either she can trip one person and knock them prone, or she can hit them for 1d4 bludgeoning damage. and that will make that a bonus action. So then she can still punch them. And maybe we won't give her a sword. We'll have her fist. And we'll have some kind of bludgeoning thing, like a club or a cane or something. Can just throw a club on there. It's not a great club, it's just a club. What does that do for damage? +4 to hit, 1d4 bludgeoning, +2. Okay, that's cool. That's like her hair. It's not amazing by any stretch of the imagination. But it's neat enough. And I don't need to give her key or make her any, like, cooler of a monk because I already have a monk player. And so we don't need her to outshine the player. Alright, so we have that. And then we need to make Mzori. And I think they are also... Yep, stick with crew. I have no art for Mzori. I just... Laverne is not human. The art is human because I used Midjourney in March to make it. And Midjourney doesn't do D&D races well. But she's actually like Earth Genasi mix. Probably mixed with a little bit of Goliath because that's also up there. There's like, in that part of the world, there's giant and Genasi influences. So it's like Goliaths and Earth Genasi, Fire Genasi. Mzori is actually part... I kind of want him to be... them to be part Feywild, part Earth Genasi. So they are like super muscular. They have charcoal black skin. They have full black eyes, like no sclera on their eyes, and no hair. And so it's like part Goliath, part Earth Genasi because they smell like earth and like caverns. They never look you in the eye, which is sort of one of the things I kind of based it off of autism and how a lot of autistic people don't like eye contact, but it's become like this huge thing where the player thinks there's way more to it than that. And they need to know why Mzori won't look her in the eyes. And I'm just like, they just always look at your nose unless there's a reason not to. Oh, now they're looking at your forehead. Now they're looking at your chin. And I just wanted to have it be that little bit of like, not that they're not friendly, but that little bit of social anxiety and not necessarily great with people. And it just kind of became a whole thing. So, oh my God, is my camera that bad? Oh, this is just the chat window. Okay, it's just the chat window. Okay. It like took up it like squished my head down and I was like, oh my God, are you all just looking at my chin? That would be terrible. This chat window is so awkward, but okay. So we have Mzori. They're very, very strong and muscular. So let's give them a 16 strength. They got just enough strength to get by. Con. They got a high constitution, intelligence, and wisdom. I want to give. So charisma, we're gonna make that at like an 8. Like, they're not charismatic, no matter how sexy my player thinks they are. All right, and then intelligence and wisdom. It's not super strong in either one. They're not super strong in either one, but I'll just give them 12 in both. And we'll just give them some, like, Eladrin stats, maybe. And I think they're just gonna, like, also club and fist things. They were a dock worker, they're a sailor. So we can give them the... They are one of the most experienced sailors, so... They don't wear armor, but we will give them... We can make them a barbarian. Let's give them barbarian, which is what? Dex plus con, so 3 and 1 is 14. So we'll make their AC 14. And then give some health. And what kind of attacks are you thinking, James? But if you're prepping, that's fine. If you're prepping your own game, that's cool. You want to talk about your game? What's going on in your game? Alrighty. So we have... What do we have for a barbarian? Extra attack, Path of the Ancestral, Path of the Battle Rager, Path of the Beast, Path of the Berserker, and the Stormhelm, and the Totem, and the Zealot, and the Wild Magic. So I do want them to have, like, Feywild and Earth Plane vibes. I don't know the paths very well. They're super chill. Maybe we'll just make them Path of the Berserker. Oh, subclass items cannot be added to a non-player. Well, fine. Can we add that? Nope. Classes can't be added either. Well, you're a big poopy face, Foundry. That's what I say. You're a big poopy face. Let's see if the Crucible stuff has any good player stuff that... Oh, I don't know that it got updated for 11. Never mind. Let's give him a cool feat. What's a cool Feywild feat? There's Fey Teleportation, Fey Touched, Lord Misty Step. I don't want them... Maybe, like, an Earth Meld kind of thing. I don't know that Fey Teleportation is something that I really want. Let's see. What do we have for Earth? Dragon Fear. Nope, none of that. Alright, well, let's... Oh, maybe the Grappler. Durable. Alright, durable is cool. Let's fade away. Your people are clever with a knack for illusion magic. You have learned a magical trick for fading away when you suffer harm. Ooh. Immediately after you take damage, you can use a reaction to magically become invisible until the end of your next turn or until you attack. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, for gnomes. That's a gnome trait. That's interesting. Maybe I'll just give him Grappler. As a pirate and dock worker. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know that there's anything else. What's Orcish Fury? When you hit with an attack using a simple or martial weapon, you can roll one of the weapon's damage die an additional time and add it as extra damage. Once you use this ability, you can't use it again. Immediately after you use your relentless, you can use your reaction. Okay. That might be cooler than... I mean, they don't have to be an orc. But that might be cooler than the barbarian stuff I was looking at. So, relentless endurance. Oh, it's not in here. Oh, I guess it's a racial thing. Let's look at our races. When you're reduced to 0 hit points but not killed, you can drop to 1 hit point instead. Oh, I like that. I don't know why I have it in here twice. Oh, because once the basic rolls and once is in Mordenkainen. Okay. Cool. Alright, so Grappler, Orcish Fury, Relentless Endurance. Give them... we'll just also give them a club, because it's just going to be like... I don't know, maybe it's a belaying pin. Maybe it's just something ridiculous like that. Or not ridiculous, but... It doesn't need to be anything amazing. And then unarmed. Is that not in here? Okay. D&D Beyond is amazing and I love it, but sometimes it's really hard to find stuff. Class features. Unarmed strike, unarmed defense. Alright, we'll just give them the monk's unarmed strike. Does that roll any dice? Alright, that's a 4. It does add proficiency and strength. So, cool. That's good enough. And then we'll actually also give that to Laverne. Instead of fist. Since I didn't have any stuff in the fist. Alright, so that's Laverne Mzori. We already have Captain Evelyn. Has got some cool stuff. And awesome. So we got that. So that's them. Now for our enemies, we have... Where are we at? Humanoids. Let's change this color so we have some differentiation. Okay, so the Iron Chain Alkalite we have done a few times. We've checked that up. Okay, that's taken care of. The Gunpowder Rat. Sea legs, that's what I... Both Laverne and Mzori should have sea legs. But where'd they go? Oh, in the crew. Where are we at? Where are we at? Oh, Sketty is there too. Oh, gee, mini cricket. Sketty is there. I gotta double check Sketty. There's too many NPCs. Is really what's happening. Whenever possible, they're going to be fighting their own fight somewhere else, and we'll make it cinematically exciting, but doesn't involve me rolling 85 billion dice. And does this Captain Evelyn have... No. Alright, cool. So we have the Gunpowder Rat, which has a longsword, and Riposte. Oh, that's right. This was my first mate that I built. So a little bit stronger, a little more powerful. Has 2 superior superiority die to riposte. I don't know that if I need that for an NPC, I can just decide that they can do that, but whatever, it's fine. Vala. Let's talk about Vala. So Vala is a wizard. We're going to up her AC. She's not level 2 anymore. I mean, up her, whatever. We're going to give her mage armor. Because, why wouldn't they? Alright, so let's do... mage armor. There we go. So mage armor is 14. Alright. That's still not very high. I gave her spells before. Nope. Who was I going to... I was gonna give her more spells, I thought. But I guess I didn't. Because these look pretty much the same ones she had before. So let's see if I took notes on what I was planning. Because here's the thing. Vala, she's a valedictorian, top in her class. Right now, she's not with the other kids that they're trying to save. She is working with the pirates. And I just like the idea that she's in it for her own gain. Originally, I was thinking, oh, she's in it for her own gain because she's a wizard, she wants power, and the star is magical and will give her power. And they're offering something more. And then I was thinking, what if she works for another faction? So, we have several factions going on. Maybe too many. But I don't think they're all going to come up anytime soon. But we've got the pirates, who are broken into separate groups of pirates. So there's Captain Rough Dog is the big bad of this island. And he wants to be the leader over all the pirates, but he's actually working for another pirate named Captain Davik. And Captain Davik is pulled out of my player's backstory. And he is actually a shadow version of himself. So Captain Davik is like a flipped version of who my player thinks he is. And if they ever get to it, they can go to the Shadowfell to save the real Captain Davik. And he is actually working for this group of Astral Elves, who I think I finally named, but I still have it in my head as they are the Astral Elves, and I need to stop thinking like that. Okay, so this still says Vala the Wizard wants the Star Medal working for the Pirates of a Common Goal. Okay. So Captain Davik is running... He's over Captain Rough Dog, and also he has another group of pirates that he's running that they're looking for a Star Medal because this is not the only star. There's actually multiple stars. And these Astral Elves are pulling the stars to the planet so that they can... harvest the metal to fix their ship and head back to space. It's based off that really probably tropey vibe of those fantasy novels that are kind of sci-fi based, where this ship crashes on the planet and everybody has to repopulate it, and now it's 100 years later and nobody knows why the capital city is called Landfall. So that's the vibe I'm going for. And these elves, basically, they discover that they can die when they're stuck on this planet. They want to go home. They want to go back to the stars. And this is actually the people that my druid is from, but he doesn't know it. So that's a lot of fun. My druid said in session 1, nearly a year ago, hey, I want to be a high elf. And I was like, hey, I don't have any high elves on this continent. So do you want just the mechanics of a high elf and then you can be anything you want? Or do you want to be the only high elf anyone knows? And they said, I want to be the only high elf anyone knows. So I said, okay, now I have to work on this high elf thing. And to make sure they see them, the high elves have to be the big bad. So there's the Astral Elves, who Captain Davik works for. And then Captain Rough Dog works for Captain Davik. And then Captain Evelyn is more of like a privateer, freedom-loving person, would basically wants to live on the outskirts of society, not necessarily like, hey, we're going to attack every ship that comes along, so much as if you're messing with us, we're going to attack you. And if you're in our way, we're going to attack you. But otherwise, they're not just like hiding out on like shipping lanes. They're actually more likely to be the ones who are going to the islands and the temples and knowing more about the ocean, which is what I want my players to be doing. So I try to make Captain Evelyn as super cool as possible so that the players will want to work with her or at least listen to her, and then they'll want to do cool things too. So those are the pirates, the Astral Elves. Now my druid player, he's an elf, he's a high elf, which are the Astral Elves because they come from space, is why I call them that, not necessarily the race of Astral Elves. So he was raised in the pirate city, so he hates pirates. His dad is basically a deadbeat dad, never home, always out to sea, also a pirate. So Khan hates pirates. Awesome. This is great. I decided that the dad is still a deadbeat dad, right? But he's kind of a deadbeat dad who's like the one that's always away on business trips, but is kind of trying to do important things, but is still kind of an asshole. That's what I'm going for. His pirate group he actually works for a subset of the Astral Elves who just want to stay on the planet and who are kind of working against the other elves. Now, I need a good reason. Not a problem, Dreams. It was lovely seeing you. I like having you in the chat. It makes me feel like I'm actually talking to someone instead of just myself. So I hope you have a good game. So where was I? Dreams is probably tired about hearing the story because I say the same things a lot. So we have... Oh, this must have been the last time I was working on this island. Yeah, this is when I thought... Alright, so these are my secrets and clues. Let's check the next session up. And see what I had. If I had anything good for Vala for that. Kajim, Professor Albrecht, Evelyn Stoll, Rough Dog, Star, Vala, the wizard, wants a star medal working with the pirates for a common goal. Okay, same thing. I just haven't fleshed it out. Khan has a reaction when near a star. That's going to be so much fun. I can't wait for that. So, I don't know why Khan was stolen. So let's try to work through that. Let's open up Khan's. So Khan was raised in this pirate city. Mom is kind of like means well, tries to do good, but is basically being held down by the pirates. Not physically, but like in Port Mercy, the pirate city. Might makes right. And those who have the power use it and flaunt it. There's no real law, or it's all like chaos. And the strongest survive. So she's constantly trying to help people, even if it means putting her on the wrong side of the pirates. But she knows something that the rest of them don't. I don't know what that is. But there's got to be a reason why she's still alive. And it might be Khan's dad. It might be she has something from the astral elves that she can give to these pirates or makes them think she's too scary. She has a power of her own. Ooh, I like that. She has a power of her own. Um, but we're trying to figure out why Khan's dad. All right, so what do I have? Khan resents this guy hardcore for abandoning his mom. It colors his views towards pirates, though he can keep those to himself if he has to. I kind of see Khan's arc in regards to his dad as coming to terms with the fact that this guy's is only human, elf, but that he doesn't owe him a relationship if it isn't good for his own well-being. Maybe they wind up having nothing to do with each other, or maybe Endgame is a relationship with some serious boundaries. No idea. He will probably learn to get out from the dude's shadow, though. Yeah. So, oh, that is cool. It was that way for my dragon in another campaign. My character was the only dragon, and the dragon turned out to be the enemy. Oh, yeah. Oh, for, you're not telling my stories? Oh, thank you. Okay. Yes, go. Don't be late for your own campaign. Your own game. Enjoy your game. Have so much fun. I'll be here when you're done. Well, not really a streaming, but I will be on the internet. Like I have been for you. And me. Friends, I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now. All right, but not really because I'm streaming and I have to talk. So, and then there's also these pirates that fly the spider flag, which are the ones that attacked Drac and also have some ties to Khan and Khan's mom. And I don't know what to do with that yet, but they're not on this island, so we will worry about that later. So, and I've been talking with the players to try to get them more invested in the game because some of them were pretty passive. And we kind of had a deep conversation. You want to solve 90% of your 90% of the problems at the table can be solved with a conversation. Just putting that out there. If you ever feel like my players don't listen, they don't work with me, they don't do what I want them to do, they act weird or whatever, have a conversation. And it turns out 9 times out of 10 that will solve whatever your problem is. All right, so I have story goals and player goals for Khan, but let's start here. Khan is special. So Khan is a stars druid, circle of stars druid. So he has a relationship to the stars that not everyone has, and that makes him special. But why? I do want to make it that when he interacts with stars, he gains more power. I've created like an add-on to his constellation. He loves using the star constellation. So it's this cool effect of he can spend hit die while in the star constellation. He can spend hit die to give up a part of himself to put more damage on the enemy. And he only will be able to do this when he's within 30 feet of a star. So I think that's awesome. And so that's like a connection that he has to stars. Was he born under the right stars? Was he... they've been here for hundreds of years, so it can't be that he was the last one born in space or anything like that. And can't really be the first one born here. But he has to be special in some way, and I don't know how. So if you have ideas about how we can make Khan special enough to be secreted away to the point where it will make sense that the pirates were looking for him when they stole the players' friends, the NPCs that just broke out. That's what we got to figure out. And I'm, without trying to make the story about Con, just this vibe of it. I don't know. So if you have any ideas, put them in the comments because I could use some help. But let's see. So kind of special. I was even toying with the fact that his parents aren't his parents. Because it kind of gives that vibe of they stole him away and secreted him away for a reason. And maybe his father is actually just out there planting clues somewhere else. I don't know. Like, he's definitely working against the Astral Elves and doing something along those lines. Because I want there to be another faction. And I want to tie Khan's dad to it. But, I don't know. It sounds very tropey. So, what's a good way to not make it super tropey? To flip that trope on its head. That's what the big thing is. So kind of special due to his connection to the stars. And why? I'm just going to put why in capital letters. He was raised in Port Mercy on purpose. Why? There's a good chance that Khan's going to run into his dad on this island. I was thinking of having him also be here looking for the star. Like, this is going to be one of those things where everybody's looking for the star. So he was raised in Port Mercy on purpose. Why? Like, why was he taken from his family? Why was he taken from his home? And the thing is, with Port Mercy, because it's, like, lawless and everything, it's actually a great place to hide somebody. Because if you're weak, here we go. So if you're weaker, you're not going to stand out, right? If you're not trying to fight for power. So Port Mercy was a good place because of the pirates and the chaos, to keep Khan hidden. I like this. Okay. Now, I was also thinking maybe Khan's mom, like, has a deal, or Khan's dad has a deal with the pirates, but I don't know how much I can bend that. Maybe it's just a deal with a couple of people. I was thinking, so I grabbed this from a magazine called The Crucible. And in the world that the first adventure was built on is a town called Port Mercy. And in that, it's run by, like, weird vampires that can, like, they have cultists that they can suck the basically ability to be in the sun. It's kind of weird, but I think it's got a cool vibes of there being cultists. And one of the crew that I allowed the players to meet for their ship, I created like 12 crew members that they could possibly hire, and one of the ones they hired is actually either a cultist or one of those vampires. And I've tried to say how, like, oh, with certain perception checks, oh, you notice he looks really gaunt today. Oh, he actually looks pretty healthy right now. And they just thought he was seasick. Or like, oh, the seas are just not not working with this guy. Like, and that's fine because I don't really have a strong story for that yet. But he's planted, so if ever I need to use him for something, he will be there. He is, a spy basically for this other group. So I don't know why though. It'll be whatever the best reason for the story is. If it ever comes up at all. And that's the thing, it might not, and that's fine. But I can tie those pirates to Khan, the Red Spider pirates, to Khan so that they can, I don't know. Alright, so we know Port Mercy was a good place because of pirates and the chaos to keep Khan hidden from the Astral Elves. Wait, I think, actually, this is Notion. Let's see, I should be able to have him in as Astral Elves. That's terrible. Alright, well, eventually I'll change that. Alright. Okay, so we have that. Let's go back to our session notes. Change this for 9:15. Alright, scenes, Kajim fight scene, island. And then we might have, I have some awesome maps of lava tubes. We'll just put lava tubes and volcano. Because that's where they're going to actually find the star. So secrets and clues. Alright. Khan's dad is also looking for the star. Oops. With a group of pirates. I should name their pirate ship. Definitely give them a pirate ship name. Alright, so Khan's dad is looking for the star with Meadow Leaf's people. Meadow Leaf. Or that's the other thing. So Seraph's mom works with Meadow Leaf's people. And I don't know yet if I want to tie that to Khan's dad. I kind of do. Because of the simplicity of not having a dozen factions all trying to get these stars. And maybe, this is my brain. Maybe if the players take too long trying to find the star, what they're going to find is two groups fighting over it. Khan's mom leading one and Khan's dad leading one and Sarah's mom leading the other. And that would be amazing. And that would be something to end a session on. Like, that would be such an amazing cliffhanger. Oh my god, that would be... Alright, so, yeah, we're going to put this down because I love the idea of this. I love the concept of this. So, Khan's dad. And Seraph's mom. Fighting over the star. That's fun. Now, if they get there early, then one or both groups can just show up at some point. Like, oh, where are you going with that star? That's ours. Like, not realizing that the players are not the pirates, right? And then we work through that misunderstanding, and then they leave even longer, and they're attacked by another group, and this group is and that's the other group. And maybe the pirates, the Khan's dad would do the attacking, and Seraph's mom, while not necessarily against fighting, would be way cooler to, like, I'm gonna make Serv's mom a blade singer because I want that magic and the fighting. That will be really, really cool. I have a blade singer character that I could totally bring in as Sarah's mom. It's too bad I already used the art for their first ship captain, but I'll have to do something with that because that's gonna be fun. Oh my god, I can use the same one because I mean I could because even though she had a different name, Seraph wasn't on that ship. So it could totally be because and then she just kind of disappeared and nobody heard from her since. So I could because it's beautiful art. It's beautiful art. So I would really like to use it again because it's beautiful art. But okay. All right. So Khan's dad and Sarah's mom fight over the star. Sarah's mom works with Middle East people. Khan's dad is looking for the star. Khan will have a reaction near the star. Now, here's where things get fun. Sky full of stars, which is the Warlock character, failed the wisdom save. Pulled towards star. He doesn't really know it yet, but he's going to want to go to that because the player hasn't really worked with me about the patron other than like she originally said a dragon from the Shadowfell, and I don't really have dragons, but I can have dragons. Like I just haven't really figured out how they fit in the world. Like a bunch of dragons would keep, for the most part, large cities from growing and having huge sprawling universities and things. So I do want it to be kind of whoever the Warlock patron is searching for specifically a legendary weapon that is made of star metal that will open the veil between his plane and the material plane so that he can come out into the world and take over the material plane. And of course, nobody wants that to happen. But because Sky has been, the player has been kind of playing this off as that Sky doesn't know he has magic. He just kind of almost gets taken over and doesn't realize that he's using magic when he does, or that he can fight as well as he can, and has been denying it up until a few sessions ago when shit got real, and is now kind of trying to work his way through it. But I think the player is a little scared, so hasn't taken as many dramatic roleplay beats, and no one's forced her to. So that's all very cool. So now the patron wants that star, and now that Sky is on the island and getting closer to the star, he's going to want to go there. And the more wisdom saves he fails, the harder he can resist, the more focused he's going to be. And if he fails enough, then he will do nothing but make his way to that star. Is the vibe I want to go for. Hopefully he's going to pass some. The wisdom's not terrible, and he did actually pass the first save and just failed the second one. The druid is also making wisdom saves. the druid can feel a pull towards the star, but he keeps passing the saves, so there's no like overwhelming need. The other thing is, we'll go back to that wasting disease that my player made up. I decided that that is actually influence from the shadow. And so, whatever the warlock patron is, it's influence from the shadow. It is ability. Is there like a replicator, Borg, elder brain kind of vibe with shadows, where like these shadows can be in people through this wasting disease and influence them? Because that would be, I think that's what I'm going to do. That it's all part of the same creature vibe. It's just part of his will. I don't know. I haven't really figured it out. But, so, the old PC, Professor Albrecht, he's got that wasting disease. He's like one of the few humans that anybody knows. So, it affects him differently. But Seraph was also infected as a child, and it gave her nightmares. And that's a whole nother vibe that we're not going to get into right now. But so Seraph is also going to start having to make wisdom saves, but she has a little more control over that. It's not as bad as with Professor Albrecht. So Professor Albrecht is going to start making wisdom saves. As a matter of fact, I should roll a wisdom save right now, because once they get to like safety, oh my god, that's a nat 1. Oh shit. Okay. Well, that just happened. Oh my. So that's interesting. Okay. I'm going to write that on my notes so that I remember. Professor Albrecht. Crit failed. Wisdom save. All right. So, Professor Albrecht crit failed the wisdom save. Sky failed his wisdom save. Khan will have a reaction whenever he gets near the star, but he's still, like, fine. He feels the pull, but he doesn't know, like, what that means. Seraph needs a whiz save. Alright. So, we have this going on. Pulls towards the star. We'll have either Khan's dad or Seraph's mom or both at the star. We'll have the fire plane exploding, creatures coming out. I don't know how much of a dungeon crawl I want to make it, because one, my players don't really like fighting that much. There's a few that really like it, and then there's others that, not so much. But I think I'll start slow, like with like fire beetles and magma mephits and steam mephits, because I have all them. Fire plane. All right, Ifriti, magma mephit, magman, molten magma roper. That sounds cool. Closer they get to the heart. And yeah, I do need better spells for Vala. I had found some kind of magic user that had like really, really cool oh, maybe this is it. Yes, here it is. Okay, so there's the nice Vala that is a crew member. And then there's this Vala, which is, I can't remember what it's based on. Identity. Okay, that's not. But as a wizard character from Strixhaven, and reduced to memory, thundering golden energy erupts around a creature. Pledge mage. Oh, the pledge mage. That's what they're called. Can see within 90 feet of it. The creature must make a Constitution saving throw, taking thunder damage. Construct has okay. That's a lot. They have a scroll bash attack. Where's this? There it is. So basically, they can just hit somebody with a scroll and then also do thunder damage, which I think is great. I just think that's fun for a mage, right? Especially this, been on a sailing ship, went to university, like whatever. Chronal break. The pledge mage chooses a point within 30 feet of itself, shunting the minds of nearby creatures out of this moment in time. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point must succeed a DC 13 wisdom saving throw or be incapacitated until the end of the pledge mage's next turn. Learn from the past. When another creature within 60 feet of the pledge mage misses a target with an attack roll, the pledge mage magically enables the attacker to re-roll the attack roll and must use the new re-roll. So, and then what do we have? Spellbook stuff. Comprehend languages, locate object, mage armor, speak with dead, stone shape, guidance, light. Okay. We'll grab some of the spells that she had before, because it wouldn't make sense if she suddenly doesn't have those anymore. But yeah. So I want something that, sleep would work. Well, basically, I want something that can help her kind of do battlefield control. And I kind of want to have like Now, this only works if it comes up and if the players are down for it. I'm not going to force anything to happen. But I like the idea that... Oh, we already have that. I like the idea that she's actually doing all this for ulterior motives. Like I think I want to put her with Meadow. Yes, I'm going to put her with Meadow Leaf's people. So she makes it seem like she's working for the pirates. She talked her way into it. Just super smart. I can help you. Yada, yada, yada. But actually, she's in the same faction as Meadowleaf's and Seraph's mom. And she's going to be working from... let's see. Working... I need a faction name with Seraph's mom and Meadowleaf's people. What are we going to call them? The Guild of the Falling Star? No, I don't like that. Natural Order. Maybe we'll just call them the Natural Order. I don't necessarily love that, but I don't know. We'll find some ideas later. But Vala is working with. If it comes up, if Drac turns around and looks behind, he's going to see. Now, Drac won't understand it, but the player will. He's going to see Vala cast magic on Khajiim to make Khajiim fall. And it's going to be big and distracting. So it can't just be sleep. It might be that Chronal one. NPC, Vala. What was this? Reduced to memory. So that's within 90 feet. It must make... So it's for one creature. But thunder damage... Like, I'm gonna flavor it like Thunder Wave. Okay? So although reduced to memory is, like... Obviously, it's I mean, constructs have disadvantages. This is like Shatter pumped up a notch, right? Excuse me. Well, maybe what we can do is a giant clap of thunder is heard, right? And it knocks down everyone that is surrounding Khajiit. Khajiit also falls. And let's see. And that's going to be like end scene, right? It's going to make Vala look like the bad guy. And maybe it'll even be some sort of fire instead of thunder. Because Khajiit's resistant to fire. So Vala would know that. Fire wouldn't hurt her friend that much. I don't know. We'll think of it. We'll think about it. And it doesn't have to be like an actual D&D spell, because this is like a cutscene. And that actually might be what causes this beautiful map to come up. Right? Oh, I kind of like that. And now Vala doesn't mean to do this. But we'll keep the thunder damage, and it cracks the ground. And flames and steam start to rise up. And an earthquake happens. And then it's up to the players how they want to react with that. Now, Khajiit will fall into the pit or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. This is happening at the same time that the Professor Albrecht crit failed his wisdom save. He needs to get to that star. Sky failed his wisdom save. Wants to get to that star. The other players are going to come up. We'll try and see if Seraph will fail her wisdom save, because then she'll want to get to that star. And Captain Evelyn pocketed the compass. It was supposed to be sneaky. I didn't realize, like, it was supposed to be like, oh, she stole it. What are you going to do? But then the players never did anything with that. So she still has it, which means I'm in charge of when they look at the compass. And I forgot about that. And I was reminded of that last week, and I went, oh shit, I made a mistake. But then Captain Evelyn's also going to want to get to that star, because she knows what it's worth. She knows that's what the money is. And it's not enough to just get her crew back and just to get her ship back. That can happen. But she wants payday too. This is all going to be worth it, right? I mean, that's mild to, especially if Seraph is with Captain Evelyn. So if Seraph fails her save and Captain Evelyn's looking at the compass, and Sky and Seraph want to go to where the compass is pointing, hopefully that will mean the players will want to do that too. That's the idea, right? And then they'll go. We've got some fun little maps. Alrighty. So we've got this lava cave exterior, which is where they can, safely, avoid the pirates and get to that if they need to. And then we have this area here where once they come through one of these passageways, it will take them to this area where they have to cross this lava tube, and then they have this maze here. And then they'll have like this big open area. And I think in where I got this map from is actually where I got the idea from the star. And there's something there, and I don't remember what. I'll read that. But like this is an end game over here. But I have this other map. And so what if actually it gets them over here? Right? And they end up here. And maybe I should put some like rock tiles over this lava field so that it is like a skill challenge to get across. That would be cool. And then this is an old temple. So that's neat because I have a historian in the party and I can tie that into the stories that she is looking for. Although I don't know what yet. But that's okay because there's no way they're going to get to this point, this map. But I like these ideas. See, thanks for listening, because when I tell these stories out loud, so we'll put fantastic locations. Bronze dragon map. Temple to who? For coral. So then I know that I need to figure that out. And so we'll do a bit of a dungeon crawl with these lava tubes. They're going to find, in here, they'll find some, like, I have these beetles. Are they under beasts? Giant fire beetles. We'll put those in. They don't necessarily have to be things that the players fight. We'll just put them all over the place, right? They're just like on the walls everywhere. And they're crawling around, and that's unusual. And then we'll have, so what I want to put in this other map, so this lava tubes map, I think that fire magma, the molten magma roper, needs to be over here somewhere, maybe. Where there's already fire. We'll put them right there. And in the map, there's like a pit trap over here, and there's something over there. I don't remember what it was. Neat stuff. I need to figure out what this temple is. And then this whole area would have been a temple. So I made this world with Mappa Imperium, which is a really cool world building game on itch.io. I highly recommend. And I kind of made it at first to be fairly new. It's only a few hundred years old. There's no like millennia of history and stories. Mostly because it's my first world building, and Mappa Imperium only goes through so many centuries. And I was like, good enough. That said, I was thinking, since Coral joined the group and wanted to be like an archaeologist and have that background and have that be what she studies in the university, I was like, okay, well, now I need ancient temples. That makes sense, right? So then I was thinking, what if this world is constantly changing? So I already have the vibe of a lot of it has been created because of the different planes kind of in cycles at like showing up and adding to the world. So when the water plane shows up, that's when the sea folk escaped, Tritons, merfolk, genasi, whatever, had escaped from the water plane. Kraken came out, but it also rose the water level, the water table. So an archipelago that Drac is from is, flooded. It used to be like one whole continent. Now it's an archipelago and it's been flooded because of the influx of water into the oceans. And the earth plane and the fire plane have created these land masses, and then people came from that. So the vibe has always been the cyclical, the cycle of life, and the cycle of, sometimes you have the fire plane bleeding through, and then you have volcanoes and stuff like that, and sometimes you have the earth plane bleeding through, and then it's just like mountains and sand and whatever. And eventually the planes stop bleeding through and the veils become thicker, and then just life happens, right? And, grass grows, the sun shines, all that fun stuff. So then I was thinking, what if these ancient temples are because people have always lived here, and then when certain events happen, people die, societies fall. Maybe the astral elves know that. Maybe they were originally from this planet and were able to get off. And they came back for a flyby and got stuck. I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily like that. But I do like the vibe that the planes are ever shifting. The way climate changes, and we have ice ages and not, and things like that. There's been times on this planet where, the carbon has been so thick that anything that is used to living now would not be able to live. Which is why, with climate change being the way it is, and with our carbon footprint rising and almost going on beyond where we can handle it, the earth will be fine. It'll find a way. Human beings, maybe not so much, but the earth has been through it before, so it's not worried. But anyway, so these temples would have belonged to whatever people lived here before. And I've toyed with the idea that humans were basically the servants of the astral elves when they crashed. Because, generally speaking, most of the players I've played with don't want to be human. So I was just like, well, there's no humans on the continent. And I like the idea of it being multicultural because, I grew up in the Northeast. And, you get, these really great amalgamations of, food and culture when you start mixing different people from different countries together in big cities. And it's really awesome, and I love that. So I want my world to be like that. Except, with D&D races instead of culture, modern countries. So, we'll put something cool in there. And the molten magma roper. I just think that's cool. Or maybe we want to put it on that other map. Maybe it'd be right here. They could easily avoid it. I don't know. We'll see. I need to make up plans. There needs to be something in there here that will connect to other things. It'll be exciting for Coral because it'll be history. So I have to make it history that she does excite her. I think I want to also tie it into Drac because lizard folk, when I rolled up a lot of lizard folk. And so I like the idea that the lizard folk grew, like, evolved on this planet naturally and have survived all the different cataclysms in one form or another. And so this could be like a lizard folk temple. But I really need to get with my player to make sure that there's like cool vibe and it's not modern lizard folk history, but like 300 years ago lizard folk history. Or it could be some other race completely. I don't know. But there needs to be like, we need to make a note for this cool temple. For Coral, is it lizard folk? I don't want it to have anything to do with the elves and the star. Tells the tale of plane collision. I'll just put plane collision right now. But just one part of it, right? Fire plane collision. Because that's what happened to them, right? So it'll tell the story and strange constellations. So that's not how you spell constellations. So strange constellations in the sky. Really old. Before written history. We'll put that. A home overrun with earthquakes and fire. All right. So, this is cool. This is cool because this can give some great information. Drac will know his lizard folk people have been here forever. Coral would be like, wait, this is beyond anything we've seen, and it's very different, but also it's history. And then I can have other temples show a history of the water plane coming over, like, you know, the water's rising and new people with fins showing up. And then that will be Coral's people's history because she's a sea folk. So her history will show up with that. And so there's a whole nother temple, but not here, but a whole, I just need to write this down so I don't forget. A whole nother temple with water plane and sea folk. So that one will also probably have lizard folk, but they'll be meeting the sea folk. And that could have a clue to the legendary trident, which is the magic item that the warlock is interested in. She was interested in on her own, like the player was, asked to do some research about it. So that's kind of been in the back of my mind this whole time, like, gotta get the warlock, the Hexblade warlock, gotta get her the legendary trident. And I was thinking of doing, I think it's called A Rod in 7 Parts, something along that line, where the trident has been broken and is in different areas and they have to find it. But there could be a clue in this water temple. And what else I'll put there, I don't know. But it'll be interesting. And maybe it'll be near another star. What if as the stars are falling, they're being drawn to these temples? As the stars fall, they're drawn to temples, unbeknownst to everyone involved. So then I've got two birds, one stone, right? Stars are falling, which was already a plot thread. It's race against time to find them. Maybe Sarah's mom will show up here. Khan's dad won't. Khan's dad will show up at the next star. So that way, on this island, it's not like all about Khan show. Because this is where Khan's going to get, like, the star. Or not to necessarily keep for himself, but it's going to have this connection. He's going to realize the power that comes from having the star. And so the next one can have a piece of the trident, and that could maybe be a magic item for someone else. Maybe for Coral. Coral's a sorcerer. I could think of a good... We'll have to think about it. But that's ages away. Gosh. My players are starting to move a little bit faster because they were very passive. And I finally had to have a moment of like, y'all need to be more active because I'm throwing down hooks. And I don't mind when players ignore one or two, but they were ignoring all of them. Unless an NPC said, hey, we need you to go do this thing. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. Please don't do this thing. Otherwise, the players were like really happy to play HR Simulator and hire a crew and have a fight club and go hang out at the university and hang out at the restaurant there. Like, they've been sort of directionless, even though I have literally put so many, like, oh, this pirate that you keep hearing about is causing you all this problem. Well, you came from Port Mercy. It's a pirate city, and hey, your mom's there, and you said you wanted to save her, so go. Like, there's two reasons to go there. Or, hey, you're underwater, and look, there's this dark, shadowy temple that reminds me of your dreams. But we had a conversation. 90% of all problems get solved with a conversation with your players. And now they're much more active. So they might actually move faster than I'm used to, which will be nice. But we'll let you know next time. And then just as a sort of final thing, I need to create a new thingamagaffin. Well, I'll put it in here. I never use the scratch pad, so... We started this new thing in order to keep them more active, which is their intentions. Oops. So Khan is going to look for an opportunity for Sammy. Oh, this is... Can I make this bigger? What's going on here? All right. Khan is going to look for an opportunity for a semi-private conversation with Seraph regarding the insight check. Eric Labradum is in... Oh, I guess I can get rid of this. I know I saved this somewhere. I just don't remember where I put it. I copied it the next day, but... Alright, Lapidum is full focus mode on his mission. He wants to keep everyone safe and protected. Is there anything after that? While rescuing everyone. He's running low on patience with Evelyn. See, I told you. He wants to kill her. But he does acknowledge that she's valuable. Okay, she's annoying, but not worth extrajudicially executing unless she really pulls a turnkey move on him. I mean, honestly, I do find that kind of fun, especially because up until recently, he has played Lapidum as, I just want to make friends with everyone. But if you're not super friendly back, he will kill you. So that's kind of it's an interesting twist. All right, so tension serves determined to get and find Drac, get both Evelyn's crew and Khan Lapidum, the university kids. But Khan and Lapidum are the only ones left who really know and remember them. And we'll do whatever needs to be done, handshakes, smooches, hard work, and even murder to achieve this. Hope's charisma, performance, and dice rolls will allow her to woo Hayden and leave as least bloody as possible, and preferably with favor. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I didn't read this. Maybe that was the week before that I copied everything down. So that's great. And Seraph is the bard, so that will be interesting. So this is where her mental is for the next session. Side-eyeing Lapidum. If Cyrus mine as Captain, as a person in control, he should have been in the one to go, not Drac. Oh, right. So Lapidum didn't do anything when Drac got captured. Everybody else was hiding, and Drac refused to hide, which is why he got captured. It was epic. It was such an epic D&D moment. But Seraph is now like, Lapidum, what the hell? Why'd you just let that happen? It's caused a great bit of tension between them, which I really like. These players are fantastic. They're so dramatic, and so narrative focused. So, and this is the kind of stuff that shows up. Okay, so Evelyn is winning Seraph over more and more, and Seraph's connection with Khan is keeping her from being 100% with Evelyn, but it's definitely at like 60-70 now, which Khan just got a that 20 roll and realized like, oh, Evelyn's actually does care about her crew and is determined to get them back. And let's see, Mzori doing their pay job at moving up with Seraph when she moved in the direction of the crabs. She noticed, still trying to figure them out. Oh, that's right, because she has a thing for Mzori, and she tries to get them to act as her bodyguard, but even for a bard with as good a charisma as she has, she keeps failing her persuasion checks, which is just hilarious and just draws this all out and makes it even more fun. But he just is like, it's a gold extra. You didn't hire me to protect you and be your bodyguard. It's an extra gold if you want me to do that. And at first she refused, and then this last time, she finally just put a coin in their pocket, and it was good stuff. It was good stuff. So, yeah, we had a thing with giant crabs. Khan went all the way out. Seraph got closer. Mzori went with Seraph because she had finally decided to pay them. Sky had turned invisible. Did not talk about it last time, but her intentions for Sky is that he will ask the crew about turning invisible, and maybe start digging in deep to this. Drac will keep the professor safe and probably head to where he thinks it's safe. And let's see. And then Coral, the player missed a session last time, so Coral will wash up somewhere and reunite with the group, because I was just like, all right, well, I guess she's still out to sea, y'all. She's a sea folk. She can live under the sea for the rest of her life and be fine. So, and then we marked Coral, and Coral was there too. So that's just making all this crazy. Yeah. So cool. All right. So I think we have some good stuff here. So that's that. I think this is great. This is going to be a lot of fun. I got more story stuff figured out, which I appreciate y'all for listening. Even if there might not actually be anyone out there, it's like body doubling where you make sure you get your DM prep done because you think there's an audience. And just talking and saying things out loud really helps a lot sometimes. So, loving that. And all right. I think we're done for the night. And it has been 2 hours. So, I thank you all very, very much. Check out this amazing map. I think this is Limithron. His name isn't on it, but I'm pretty sure this is Limithron. It's a gorgeous map. And check out in the links afterwards. We'll set up my links. I do have my full Patreon list. I don't have a Patreon, but these are all the people I support that do a lot of the art and maps that you'll see here on these streams. And check them all out if you can spare a coin, and if you want amazing maps like this, please check it out. Otherwise, I hope everyone in YouTube land has a wonderful night and keep prepping. And it takes me so long to figure this out. Okay. Good night.